It's more of it's a blind technique, just like the gray room, but it's a specific negativity clearing technique. Maya, how was this for you? Did you get a chance to play? Huh?
Good so far.
Good so far?
Yeah.
Everybody here get a shift?
Yeah.
Cool. Remember this, it only gets better. This is the worst you'll ever be at that technique. Right? The more times you do it, and like I was telling some people during the break, I've used this on neck pain, nerve damage, fluid in the pericardium, shortness of breath. I've worked with cancer patients on this. I've done, and I've done fear work, intense emotional reversals. You know, Tara can tell you about some of the things that she's experienced. James can tell you lots of things. Ryan, you've seen, this is an aspect, we use this in Pillars of Power, which you've done many times.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
right?
That's awesome.
As a matter of fact, if we have time, we'll get to Pillars, we'll do Pillars of Power again today. Which is based on, it's an expansion on the technique you just learned.
I have a question.
Sure.
You mentioned shortness of breath, and that's like in your lungs as opposed to like a muscle group.
Doesn't matter.
Like that. It would just be filling out location.
It's exactly the same process. Point to where you feel the pain or the discomfort. Notice there's a color associated with that feeling. Take it out and look at it. Make sure it's all in your hands. Notice if it's spinning. What direction is it spinning? First impression. Take it in both your hands. Did the color change or stay the same? Take it in both your hands. Turn it so that it's the opposite of what it was. Now double the spin. Triple the spin. Slam it back in, notice the change. That's it. Okay, do you want me to go into the next technique? You want me to explain why this technique works? Okay. Okay. Just give us more. I don't need to understand. I just need the tools. All right. So gray room is very, very similar in certain respects to this the energetic spinning technique. Basically, you have the person pretend to go into a trance, and you have them go into a place that's safe, that feels like home, the deepest trance they've ever been. They're in a place where any change they make here must, in fact, become their new reality. As they enter the room, they notice in the center of the room is a glowing fire pit with a beautiful roaring flame. The wall, they're in a dome-shaped room, and the walls are a beautiful pearly gray color. Nice neutral thing. And you'll notice as you look around the room, on the wall are bits of paper. And some pieces of paper represent all the positive experiences, and other pieces of paper are in a different color, and they represent the less than positive experiences. Things you know about, things you don't know about. And all I want you to do, and what you do here is, I recommend for the first time that you be guided through this exercise, so I might actually guide you all through it, just so you can play with it. Sound effects are important. The more you can vivify the experience, the better. And so what I want you to do is I want you to walk into this room, and I want you to reach up, and I want you to touch one of those pieces of paper that are a less than positive experience. And as you reach out and you touch it, I want you to notice where in your body you feel it. And when you're ready to finally be rid of that, I want you to reach out. I want you to rip it off the wall. As you rip it off the wall, notice how that feeling in your body starts to change. And then I want you to crumple it up. And as you crumple it up, I want you to notice how that feeling in your body changes even more. And then when you're really ready, I want you to walk over and throw it in the fire and whoosh, whoosh, notice what happens to the feeling. As it releases, just let go. Happened to you already, didn't it? See? Absorption in the experience. Right? You want to be really good at this? Take an acting class. Because actors are trained to do what I'm teaching you how to do. They're designed to take you out of your world and suck you into theirs. All of the tools of drama are yours to make your life exactly what you want it to be. Once they know that process, have them walk them a couple of times through it, noticing the change. And they'll feel it. You'll see them go, whew. Now, it's not a question of if they change, it's how much are they going to feel. It doesn't matter. The unconscious mind understands the process. Right? We know what fire is, we know what's positive, we know what's negative. Do the people in the gray room need to know what those things are? No. Some they'll know that they are, some they'll just get a bad feeling, they'll pick it up, the minute they start manipulating the feeling with their physical hands, they'll start manipulating it at an emotional and a somatic level. It'll start to change because all the element areas of your brain are being activated and focused on the same process. Part of you isn't over here doing one thing, part of you isn't over here doing something else, wondering about your laundry. Everything's over here working on this one thing. All of your channels are focused. We have maximum absorption. Once we have this, we go through and we clean out each and every less than positive experience. We throw them in the fire, we burn them up, we release and free that energy, noticing how good we feel after each successive toss. And I just want you to take however much time you need and the time you have to go through that process. And when you know it's complete, when you know you're cleansed, purged, healthy and better than ever before, completely free of that negativity, just raise your finger or nod your head to let me know. We'll continue with the next part of our process. Okay? Now, if you're yes, question?
No.
Oh, okay. If you're doing this by yourself, just see it. Be in the room and act it out. A lot of times when I was first playing with this, I would move the furniture out of my room, walk in the door, and I'd see the gray room. And I'd see the fire pit, and I'd walk over, and I'd tear shit up and throw it in the fire. Huge, huge changes. Okay? The more you get the meat suit involved, the more absorption you create. I use this to pass a Tui Na exam. Anybody know what Tui Na is? Chinese massage? I had a final exam I had to do, and I hadn't had a chance to practice my techniques. So I said, well, how am I gonna do this? So I had like 15 minutes before I was scheduled to go in. So I started tried to remember the shoulder routine that I needed to do. It wasn't coming. So I just imagined there was a body there, and I just started doing the work. And the first minute or so, I knew I was just acting shit out. Next thing I know, I'm working on somebody. 7 minutes goes by, and I just gave this guy a full treatment, and I didn't know where I was. Okay? Passed the test like flying colors, because I just finished a patient. I knew exactly what I was doing. Your unconscious mind is wired this way. You're neurologically hardwired for spatial memory. It is easier for you to memorize things spatially than any other way. Anybody hear of a technique called the memory palace? It's based on spatial memory, because that's how we survived to evolve into a society. We had to learn where things are, how far away they were, all that other stuff. We are hardwired for it. So anytime we use spatial metaphors, it has more impact to us neurologically than if we just use something that is just words. Make sense? And if you're in that hologram and you're going through the motions, your unconscious mind doesn't know the difference and it doesn't care. Because that's the language that your unconscious mind speaks in, for lack of a better word. It speaks in imagery and it speaks in feelings. Words are the last thing it pays attention to. Okay? Once all the red shit is gone, remember, shit is a technical term. All of the positive experiences begin to expand and to glow, growing stronger and stronger with every breath you take and every beat of your heart, filling you with an inexhaustible energy, building your self-esteem, filling your self-worth, making you feel so much better about yourself than you've ever felt before, giving you all the energy, courage, strength, and whatever else you need to get the things you want and move forward in life by your standards and your definitions. Now, I don't have to worry about the words so much. You know the right words for you. That's all that matters. Does that make sense? The light, the energy coming from what's left expands, fills the room like wallpaper. The energy grows more intense, grows stronger, becomes a never-ending source, an endless supply of whatever you need to get what you want. So what have we done in that one movement? Anchor, jet engine. Cut the anchor, whoosh, rev up the engine, right? We soak the pot, right? Now, whatever change work we do from this point on, it's going to be 100 times easier. Because everything that would have gotten in the way, would have made that job harder, gone. Pretty simple? Close your eyes. Put your hands in your lap, put your feet flat on the floor. Take a long breath in. Let that breath out with a sigh. Deeper and deeper with every breath you take, every beat of your heart. I just want you to give yourself permission to allow yourself to go on a very short but amazingly powerful journey with me. As you focus all of your attention on the lids of your eyes and you relax those tiny muscles in your eyelids. Relax them to the point that they're so relaxed you couldn't actually open them without putting tension back into them. Relax them that deeply or even more. And when you know you've got them that relaxed, just test them real quick to be sure they won't work. Perfect. Now stop testing when you're sure. Let that level of relaxation flow from the top of your head all the way down to the tips of your toes. Deeper and deeper with every breath you take and every beat of your heart. I just want you to let go, to relax as I guide you inside. Deep inside your mind, body, and spirit is a place of absolute power, a place of absolute change, a place where you store things that are useful, and sometimes things that were useful at one time, but not so useful anymore. And I want you to imagine, if you would, a portal of some kind. Now, for some of you, it might be a glowing archway, because I'm kind of metaphysical that way. Some of you, it might be an elevator door. Some of you, it might be a cellar door. Maybe it's a big oaken door with heavy knockers. Whatever it is for you, I want you to notice that place inside. And I want you to reach out with your physical hands and cause that portal to open in a way that's right and natural for you. And as you enter that place inside, I want you to walk inside that room and I want you to notice what you see. Inside you see an interesting room. It's dome-shaped with pearly gray walls. In the center of this room is this beautiful glowing fireplace, and it radiates a warmth, an energy that just causes you to feel freedom, the flame of freedom inside. And on the wall, I want you to look around. You may notice that there's certain pieces of paper, or it could be something else. I know one person who went to their gray room. They found that those things on the wall were tiles that he had to break and smash, and then he broke them and he smashed them, and all of a sudden he felt liberated as all that weight was lifted from his body and from his mind. Whatever it is for you, if it's pieces of paper, great. If it's tiles, that's okay too. You know the process. Now, one set of tiles or papers or whatever is in one color, and it represents all the positive experiences in your life. While another color represents all the less than positive experiences. All the things you've been holding on to that no longer serve you, that you're ready to let go of, that you're willing to let go of. And as if by some secret cue, one of those pieces of paper calls your attention. And you walk over to it, and I want you to reach out and I want you to touch that piece of paper or that tile or whatever it is. I want you to notice as you touch it that there's a feeling in your body that comes up as soon as you touch it. Notice where you feel it. And I want you to take that thing off the wall, and I want you to begin to either smash it or crumple it up or make it less than what it was. And notice how as you begin to manipulate that image with your mind and body, notice how it begins to change the feeling. And when you're finally ready to get rid of it, walk over, crumple it up, throw it in the fire, whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. Feel that energy burn up. Feel your body shift in whatever way is right and natural for you. Give yourself permission to just let it go. Noticing how good you feel. And when you know that one's all burned up, when you feel the energy release to whatever degree you're willing to let yourself do that, well, walk over to the next piece. Take it off the wall. Notice where in your body you feel it. Begin to crumple it up, crack it up, make it smaller. Change it. Notice how it changes the feeling. And when you're ready, walk over to that fire pit. Chuck it in the fire and whoosh, feel it burn up. I'm going to suggest that the more you get the body involved, the more amazing this experience is going to be for you. But that's okay. Give yourself permission. Now I want you to systematically move through this room. Begin to remove all of those things from the wall that no longer serve you. Walk over to the fire pit. Throw it inside. Feel it change. Be specific. Find every piece. Be thorough. You don't have to know what they are. You don't even have to care. All you need to know is that they're that color and it's time for them to go. And when you know you've got it, when you know the room is completely cleansed for all the right reasons, and you know what those are, just silently nod your head and we'll move on with the next part of our process. Perfect. Keep going. I'll wait for everybody to nod. Some of you have more stuff than others. That's okay. I'm teaching you something that's yours forever, that you can use whenever you want, to feel whatever you want. And now, as you clean off all the last remaining pieces, notice how those glowing, the pieces that remain, those positive experiences, those empowering experiences, everything that makes you feel good about who you are, about where you're going, and who you're destined to become. Those energies begin to glow stronger and stronger, and there's a warmth and energy that vibrates from those pieces of paper, or from those tiles, or whatever it is. And they begin to expand, and they begin to merge into one another, becoming like a sheet of wallpaper coating the inside of this room, filling you with their radiance, energizing you from the inside out, having that energy percolate upward and outward into every cell and every atom of your body, changing everything that's ready and willing to be changed for all the right reasons. And with every breath you take and every beat of your heart, this inexhaustible, endless, limitless source of energy is there to move you forward in life towards the things you want, both consciously and unconsciously. So that tonight, while you sleep and while you dream, this process will continue at even deeper levels. Your mind, body, and spirit will systematically find everything that's less than positive, everything that's been holding you back, and it'll take it off the wall, change it in such a way that it's easily removed from the body, removed from the mind, and in its place, whoosh, all of this energy just doubles, triples, and grows stronger and stronger with every breath, every beat of your heart. Unstoppable in every way, and it only gets better. Now, in a moment, not yet, but in just a moment, I'm going to count from 1 to 5. When I reach the number 5, you'll emerge from the state, bringing all of these wonderful feelings with you, seeing the world through new eyes, from a new place, from a new perspective, free of that stuff, and seeing the world through the eyes of possibility, through the eyes of excitement, energy, and enthusiasm, and whatever other feelings and traits and resources and drives you want and need to accomplish what you want, they're in the light too. Feel them welling up inside. Notice where they begin. Notice where they go. Notice that there's a color associated with those traits and desires and attributes. And now as I count from 1 to 5, those feelings, energies, and attributes will simply begin to grow stronger and stronger. And when I reach the number 5, they'll reach an unstoppable, ever-increasing level in a way that's right and natural for you, combining with the work you've done and supercharging you to move forward for all the right reasons. Number 1, feel yourself returning to this place we call reality, bringing with you a brand new reality, a reality where you've learned how to get rid of stuff that you no longer need, stuff you knew about consciously and stuff, maybe you didn't know about it consciously. You've learned how to find the resources inside that you want, that you need to move you forward in life, that inspire you to take powerful, incisive action and amplify them. You've learned how to change any one sensation, feeling, or experience and transmute it into its opposite by choice. And tonight's not even over yet. Imagine what you'll know in the next 20 minutes to a half an hour, because it only gets better. Number 2, all of my suggestions from me to you, and from you to your unconscious mind, are now 10 times more powerful than ever before. 10 times more permanent, 10 times more unstoppable. And with every breath you take and every beat of your heart, ladies and gentlemen, they only get better. Number 3. Ladies and gentlemen, there's always at least 3 ways to solve any problem. Always at least 3 solutions to any situation or circumstance that you have to solve in your unconscious mind. Your amazing creative faculty, your problem-solving centers will instantly come fully online to generate those 3 solutions in the fastest, easiest, most powerful way for you and the good of all concerned. Number 4. Because it's all for you. You put in the time. You made the investment. You came out here tonight. You've done the work. You've paid the price of admission and the price of ownership. And it's true for you now. On the next count, you can emerge from this state only at the rate and speed that you know it's true. That you know you've got it. Seeing the world from a new perspective that only gets better. Number 5. Take your time and come on back. I'll give you a moment.
That was almost like the Grinch that stole Christmas at the end, where his heart grew and grew and grew and everything magnified.
How about that?
I was like, oh, this sounds like the end of the Grinch that stole Christmas.
He had a pretty good life from then on, didn't he?
Yeah, it was all good.
Everybody have fun? That's the gray room. Okay? Not a hard technique, very simple. Just got to give yourself permission to go and play. To the degree that you give yourself permission. I think Jesus said it, be as little children. Maybe he was teaching us something there. You ever played Teacups or Soldier? Rambo? I know some of the ladies here played Rambo, didn't you? Yeah, see? Star Wars, yep. And I'm betting you weren't Princess Leia. No, not so much. You're a Han Solo looking dude there. An Ewok, oh. They got pretty vicious towards the end there. Don't mess with the Ewoks, man. Okay? All right, so that's the gray room. So the next technique, oh, there's more. You guys need a minute? All right. Let's talk about taking action. Now the whole process, if I were to actually map out the whole silo, would start with the universal solvent, which is another general negativity clearing. Then we would go to gray room. Then we would go to magic frame. Then we would go to, is it pillars of power or voice of authority, James? Can't always get the orders. Yeah. So pillars of power. Then it would be voice of authority. Womb of eternity. And this we call the identity by design process. So we've shown you the gray room. We've shown you the building block of pillars of power, which is the neurosomatic, energetic repatterning, or you can just say energy spinning 101. Okay. Emotional release technique, whatever you want to call it. Magic frame is a specific negativity clearing exercise. It's also a blind technique. It's used for the stuff that didn't come out during the general negativity clearing, if there is anything. Sometimes general negativity clear takes care of all of it. And it has more of a neuro-linguistic or Nlpp style approach to it. It's still done within the parameters of a trance state or a hypnotic induction, but it doesn't have to be. As long as you've got engagement of the body and the mind, you can create powerful changes with that. We won't go into it too deeply here, just to give you an idea that there's a whole string of processes that are going here. I'm giving you some choice cuts that you can go out and play with and start getting some big leverage with right away, whether you're doing it with clients or whether you're doing it for yourself. The next drill is not even on this timeline, or is not even in this silo, but it's one that everybody seemed to really, when I talked about it, they really seemed to groove on it. It's about destroying procrastination and hesitation. We've actually got 2 that fall into this line. One is called the Autonomizer. The other's called the Procrastination Blaster. We're going to start with, both of these do something very, very specific. They reverse your motivation. Now, what do I mean by that? We have two kinds of things that we have to that we deal with. Things we have to do or must do, and things we want to do. As a rule, the human nervous system views anything that must be done as painful. It's important. Anything that must be done is painful. Even if it's a pleasurable thing, if we have to do it, we view it as pain. Okay? That becomes important. It views anything we want to do as pleasurable. Okay? The reptile runs away from pain and towards pleasure. So the trick becomes, well, it's not a trick, it's a process. How do we turn our must-dos into want-tos? Pretty cool? Now, I need somebody who's really emotionally expressive that I can play with. You. Notice how much I asked for volunteers? Come on up here. Okay. You got a choice, A or B. Pick one.
B.
B. Ooh, okay. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to pick something on a scale of 0 to 10. 10 being the thing you're avoiding the most. Mm-hmm. 0 being something you're not avoiding at all. I want you to pick something that's around a 1 or a 2.
What's funny is my brain goes to all the things that are more like 7 to 10 because I'm kind of ambitious.
How about
like
that, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got to really think hard if you want me to pick a 1. Okay.
Got it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Here's what I want you to do. This technique is called the Procrastination Blaster. In your mind, close your eyes, and what I want you to do is I want you to begin to tell yourself over and over again, I must do X. I must do X. I must do X. And as you repeat it over and over and over again, I want you to increase the emotional intensity, the emotional amplitude. I must do this. I must do this. And maybe you don't want to do it, but you just keep amplifying whatever feelings you're having. I don't care if you don't want to do this. I must do this. I must. If you're feeling rebellious, that's fine. Just when it reaches its climax, when it reaches its emotional crescendo, you just do not want to do it. Take a deep breath, blow it out, drop everything, become as impassive and indifferent as you can. Go completely relaxed. And I want you to say to yourself over and over again in an indifferent kind of way, I don't want to. I don't want to. I don't want to. And begin to increase the emotional intensity over and over and over again. And when it absolutely reaches its peak, I don't want to. I don't want to. Take a deep breath, let it go. And just sit still quietly for a while and begin to notice a voice begins to well up in your mind. It might even start to say something like, I want to. Notice it getting louder and louder and louder. And when it reaches its peak, when it reaches its climax, get up, open your eyes, or open your eyes and get up, and go do it.
Okay.
That's pretty cool, huh?
Yeah. Yeah.
Did you see her shift?
Yeah.
Give her a big round of applause. The basis of that technique was called the echo magnet. It comes from the original autogenic training used by Soviet athletes when they swept the Olympics back in, I think it was the 70s or 80s. Took like 30 gold medals or something like that. It was from a very highly classified top secret mental training program that was later released by a defector. It's found in a book called Red Gold, if you want to actually read the original process. What did you experience when you did that? I should have you up here explaining that, but I'll let you sit back.
Well, like I said, it was hard for me to pick something small.
Uh-huh.
I resisted that. And then when I picked something small, I followed along and I did the big dramatic I don't want to, and then I did the little I don't want to, which felt much more like I felt like a little girl,
Mm-hmm.
like a 4-year-old, like,
Yeah?
pouting. And then once that was blown up and cleared out, then I noticed that I said I want to, and then you said you might notice that you want to, and so.
Yeah,
so it's
I knew that would happen, but I had to make it explicit so that,
Right.
But you were actually having it before I said it.
Mhm.
Pretty cool. And the whole idea is you just let that voice play. And you'll notice as the inner dialogue for that particular part of it gets louder and louder, you'll get more motivated to go do it. And then you just go do it. Okay? And like I said, I taught that. Now, anything I teach you that doesn't involve a formal hypnotic process doesn't mean you aren't in trance. It just means that there's more conscious mind interaction going on there. If you do this process in a deep state of somnambulism, 10 times more powerful, because the filters that are modulating your internal experience are gone. Okay? But you can do this as just simple self-programming. Yes?
So just as you're falling asleep, there's a good time to do it?
No. Unless you're getting motivated to fall asleep.
Can you just go through that quickly?
Is this worth the price of admission?
Yes.
Okay, Procrastination Blaster. I don't want to, or I must do X. X being whatever it is that you've been putting off, hesitating to do. And by the way, it doesn't matter if it's something you're putting off or something where you just in a moment, you're having momentary hesitation. Like maybe you see an attractive person and you want to go talk to them. I must do this, I must do this, I must do this, I must do this. I don't want to do this, I don't want to do this, I don't want to do this. Right? Okay? Next thing you do is you completely drop this. Once you reach, first you build to a climax, and then you release it. Go completely indifferent, and then you just begin repeating, I don't want to X. From that indifferent state. And again, you allow this to build to a crescendo or climax, depending on if you're musical or not. And then you let it go. And then you wait for that still, small voice that says, I want. And you let that build on its own. And you'll notice as that continues to build and build and build, so will your desire to do that thing. When it reaches its crescendo, get up and do it. Okay? It's that simple. That's the Procrastination Blaster. How late did I schedule this for tonight?
8:30.
Huh?
8:30.
8:30?
10.
10?
It is what? I thought it was.
You always get the numbers wrong.
I thought it was 9.
Whatever you want, you're the boss.
No, it's whatever you want. That's why you're here, right? You're not here for what I want. My goal was to get you here.
On the web, it's at 8:30.
Okay, well, it lied. Usually I go 9 or 9:30. Which would you guys prefer? 10. You guys like this shit, don't you? Shit, again, technical term. All right. So I'm going to give you one last technique.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
For the where it says I don't want to, that was like a smaller, more weak voice.
It tends to be a softer, quieter voice at first.
Oh,
You're talking about stage step 1 or step 2?
step 2.
Step 2 is going to be, again, you're going to start low level, but you're going to let the intensity build. But you're going to create a state of complete indifference to the task at hand. It's like you don't give a shit. Okay? And you just say, I don't want to. 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 When it reaches its emotional climax, poof. Let it go. Deflate. And just wait. And the voice will happen on its own. Don't look for it. Okay? Then remember, when you start, a lot of times when I'm doing certain things, I will have you have the experience before I explain the mechanics of it. Because as a rule, when the conscious mind hears the mechanics of the process, it tries to take over the process instead of have the experience. And you need to have everything I do is based on gnosis. There's techniques and systems that are based on faith, and there's systems that are based on direct experience. You know it because you've experienced it. That's the world according to David. Okay, that's why I say don't believe anything I say, go do it. That's why with very few exceptions, although lately have been a lot more didactic classes, most of my stuff is based on getting up, rolling up your sleeves, doing the drills, and getting the skills. I am a skill building kind of guy. Okay? Now, that's the Procrastination Blaster. Do you want to practice this one before I explain the next technique? Huh?
I know I'd like to, but I don't know if Father would like
How many people want to practice? Raise your hand.
I want to, but what time?
Well, I don't think we'll get to Pillars of Power. But that's okay. You already know it. Like I said, I will take you as far as I can in the time I have. If you want to go deeper down this rabbit hole, and it's a big one, I'll show you how to get it. All right? I promise. I won't leave you hanging. No, don't erase it! All right. The next drill, or the next technique, is called the Autonomizer Formula. This is one that you can use on a client or a sales prospect who may not be motivated to do what you want them to do. I'm not going to say that I cover this really, really in depth in my conversational hypnosis and persuasion courses, but I do. Okay. Autonomizer starts with A. What is it you don't want to do? Sorry, I had a little bit of a brain fart here. This was used extensively, tested extensively in hospitals and emergency rooms, specifically on drug abuse patients. Huge success rate for getting them to quit. Okay? It's also, you can find aspects of it in a book called Instant Influence. By Michael Pantalon. So the first thing, Michael Pantalon, PhD. So let's see. Yes?
Can I ask a question?
You may.
I have a vocabulary problem. I don't know what autonomizer means.
I made it up.
Okay, so it's not...
Think autonomy?
I was thinking about autonomy.
Something that gives you
but-
autonomy.
Okay, so it's not in the dictionary.
No. This is another Davidism. But that brings up a very important point. Remember I said we have two kinds of things in the universe in terms of motivation, right? This is important. Anything we look at it as being imposed upon us, we inherently resist, we look upon it as painful. Right? Anything that we want to do, we look upon as being pleasurable. Even if it is a painful experience, it's a desirable thing. So the secret is, not can we get somebody to do something they don't want to do, how do we get them to want to do it? The secret is to find their reason for wanting to do it. You. Come on up here. Now keep in mind, I'm doing this in the terms of a therapist-client relationship. It doesn't have to be. Like I said, in my conversational hypnosis and persuasion, I have a group of lawyers flying in from all over the world, or actually all over the country, in 2 weeks. And I'm going to be teaching them how to use this stuff in a non-hypnotist environment, if you know what I mean. Okay? You might want to learn it. Okay, what's something that you don't want to do?
Something I actually don't want to do.
Well, maybe there's something that you know you should do, you know would be good for you to do, but you don't really want to do it.
Go running I don't want to do that.
Okay. What's important about running?
I think it'll help me get like back in shape, and it's a good stress reliever. And
Good stress reliever. Okay.
it's a-
So let me
it's a
ask
good
you something.
habit.
Let me ask you just a quick question.
Uh,
Since you know you don't want to run,
yeah.
why might you want to go running? Wait, before we go, I hate to interrupt you.
Okay.
On a scale of 0 to 10, rate how much you don't want to go running.
Probably a 4, I guess.
Okay. You don't want to go running?
Yeah.
Okay. How much do you want to go running?
Like a 1.
Okay. Good. Perfect. Now, let me ask you a question. Why might you want to go running?
Well, I used to be a runner, and there are benefits for it. There's health benefits, and it's nice. You get outside, you get fresh air, you know.
Cool. As you think about that, on a scale of 0 to 10, how much would you want to do that?
Like a 7.
7? Cool. Let me ask you this.
Okay.
Why didn't you rate it less?
Because I know there were benefits to it when I did it before.
What kind of benefits?
I just felt like I was in shape, and
Cool. Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Scale of 0 to 10. How much do you want to run now?
like a 6.
It went down?
Is that what I said before?
Anyone said a 7.
Oh.
Is it more or less?
It's about the same, actually.
Okay. When I asked you why you didn't rate it less, what happened to your motivation? Went up, didn't it?
Yeah.
You see? Oh. Right? You see, the first thing we do is we ask people why they don't want to do something. That gets them to focus on the reasons they don't want to do something. But the minute they start talking about why they want to do something, and then they have to defend that reason, their motivation goes up. So for instance, what's something that you would like to do but you don't want to do?
My taxes.
Taxes. Okay. Why might you want to do that? Why might that be important to you?
Because I have peace of mind.
Oh, peace of mind. Peace of mind's important, isn't it? Heck yeah. I know, I just mailed the check today. I'm still bleeding. But anyway, I won't tell you where. On a scale of 0 to 10, how much do you want that peace of mind?
A lot.
How much do you want to do your taxes?
More than when we first started.
Now, why didn't you rate it less? On a scale, give me a number.
Why didn't I rate it less?
Yeah. Assuming you gave me a number, which I forgot to ask, but
Yeah, actually, yeah. No, I didn't, but the numbers did go up.
motivation to do it went up, didn't it? See, I'm even screwing it up and it's still working, right? The simple question is what is it? Why might you want to do X? Whatever reason they give you, that's the reason you use. Not what you think they mean, not what you interpret they mean. You don't change the wording if you can. You use their exact words. In CPI, we call that the echo technique. On a scale of 0 to 10, how much do you want to do it? Why didn't you rate it less? And the minute they start telling you why they didn't rate it less, their motivation goes boing!
Can you go through that real?
Sure. What's something you don't want to do? Or maybe what's something you know you should do but you've been putting off doing?
Going to the gym in the morning.
Going to the gym in the morning. Okay. Why might you want to go to the gym?
Because it makes you feel good and you're clear-headed for the rest of the day and you eat more and
Cool.
you're fat.
Cool. On a scale of 0 to 10, how much do you want that?
A 10.
A 10?
Yeah.
Cool. Why didn't you rate it less?
Because it's really important.
Okay. What happened to your feelings about that experience when I...
I felt like a fraud for not going.
See, this is what she went to the opposite end of the spectrum. She wanted to do it, and yet, when I asked her why she didn't rate it less, it still went up. Okay? Mr. Prospect, I know you don't feel like you can afford this today, but why might you want to think about really seriously finding a way to invest in this program? On a scale of 0 to 10, how bad do you think this would, how much do you want this? Why didn't you rate it less? Boing! And then those of you who know the echo technique, those of you who know criteria and values elicitation, you've just locked them in. Because not only have you sparked their motivation higher than what it was before you asked the question, you've also gotten their emotional hot buttons that will keep firing that button every time you mention it. Give her a big round of applause. So, whenever there's something that needs to be done and you don't want to do it, just ask yourself a simple question. Why might I want to do this? On a scale of 0 to 10, how badly do I want to do it? And why the heck didn't I rate it less? Boing. Then, of course, you could go, where do I feel that feeling? Is there a color associated with it? Is it spinning? I'm not saying you could do that much. Just saying. You guys all spaced out or what? Here's what I want you to do. We're going to go till about 10 after 9. I think I originally scheduled this till 9:30. So we're going to go to about 10 after 9. I want you to break up into groups or with, have a partner and just do these exercises. And then I'm going to come back and I'm going to tell you about some really cool things we got coming up. That be all right? Go play. Work quickly. Gotta go? All right. Did you have fun?
Interesting. Let me process it. I